So I decided to do Moguls and Volts, and um, I can't solo the last boss, the Will of the Emperor. It's just well, I haven't tried it as protection, but I mainly do my solo stuff as retribution because I like the spec and I like playing it. Um, so I only gonna show you how to solo up to Elegon, but usually that's okay because that's where the mount drops anyway. If I get enough gear and if they'll make some mechanic adjustments, because I don't even know if it's like doable as retribution, because there's like ads and stuff that pretty much screw you over as retribution because you don't have anything that you can put on the ground. But in any case, here's the vid to show you how to solo Motion Waltz 10 men. The Stone Guards. Um, you go with Divine Purpose, Light's Hammer, Empowered Seals, well, Unbreakable Spirit is decent. For Glyphs, Divine Storm, Temple's Verdict, Mass Exorcism. You can use Avenging Wrath if you want, for extra healing. The Seal which I chose, this is the macro I use. It enables you to like swap between the seals just by clicking one button. And you can actually use any seal you want instead of those, but I just prefer Seal of Insight and Seal of Truth because you get a damage buff 20%, and you also from the Seal of Insight you heal like was it 2% every 2 seconds? I think it was something like that. But anyway, it's cool because you can keep the both buffs up. And this fight, as you can see, it spawns a purple pool and like those blue ice crystals. You want to move away from them. If you get hit by the ice crystal, you get rooted. You can use Side of Freedom for that, but just it's easier just to move away. The boss is pretty simple. You just cleave because they share the same health. So you just, Divine Storm, and the glyph of mass exorcism is really nice because it hits everyone. Um, yeah, as you can see, I'm swapping there. I have the book buff, the sword buff. They indicate the other one. The sword is the damage buff, and the book is the healing over time. This is one of the easiest fights. Oh, a little misclick there. Um, the requirements for this, I'd say 640, depending. I mean, of course, if you have better gear, sweet. I mean, it's going to be even easier. But as you can see, my buffs are like mastery and visions of insanity. So it's basically like the flask, or like, well, it gives 200 to everything, but it's basically like counts as a flask. So I don't have like any heroism buffs or anything like that. You can use them, of course, if you feel like you're struggling, but this is definitely the easiest boss. So in case you can't pull this one off, I wouldn't suggest you even try that. Those. I'd say 640 is enough. You can maybe go. I wouldn't advise you go with full blues here. It could be quite quite struggling, but because I mean I didn't use bubble here, although I dipped quite low here because of it. But I mean I'm 671 gear, so if I can pull this off without using a bubble, you probably can do it with a bubble. Um, the damage is pretty constant since they're stacked, and it's magic damage, so you just gotta heal it. Feng the Accursed. Pretty much same glyphs, except Avenging Wrath, since there's nothing to cleave. Speed of Light, very important. Execution Sentence, just because, I mean, you can use it offensively or defensively, depending how you feel like it. It's very good, because if you need to keep yourself stopped while bursting, you get like, you can burst while you're keeping yourself stopped. The fight is pretty, well, I'd say it's pretty simple. Basically, he has three phases. This is the first one. he goes and picks up these weapons and starts smacking you in the head. Basically, he does lightning fists, which is this ability. Just dodge it, or like, yeah, move away. Because if you get hit by it, you get stunned, and well, it doesn't kill you, but it's unnecessary damage, and you don't really want that. Then he casts that epicenter, which he just did. Move away from it. I mean, it has 85. I think it's 85% miss chance if you're standing there and trying to hit him. So yeah, just move away and heal. I cast that lightning fist again, and yeah, it's easier to dodge when you're that far away. So that's pretty much for the first phase. Um, it's it's not that damage. Like the damage intake you take is pretty low, especially because of the epicenter. You can just run away and heal. This phase again. This is a bit more trickier. He does a stacking debuff. Hold on, what is it called? Flaming Spear. Yeah, that's the debuff. And then he puts also Wildfire Sparks on you. It's another debuff, but when it expires, it puts fire on your feet, and you don't want to stand there anymore. As for the Flaming Spear, you can't bubble it off, I think. But even if you could, it's you you need to do it more often, so you still have to do it with the speed of light. The reason why he's here in corner now is because, well, this is how you shouldn't do it, because I screwed up here. But basically, you need to have him in the corner, and when he casts Draw Flame, you should like move a bit to the side and then Speed of Light. Because as you can see, he just at the very last second reapplied the stack. It's all magical damage, so you can negate with Divine Protection quite a bit. But yeah, I'd say you should definitely learn how to reset the stacks, because you won't make it if you don't do it. Here's how to do it actually. Um, I have Speed of Light and cooldown, so I'll use my Engineering Boots. But I wouldn't have to do that because, I mean, yeah, I had 6 stacks, but I needed to reset them. I probably could have laid a bit more, but I just did it just in case, because I think you can reset them every second time with Speed of Light. So that's how you gotta do it. Then comes the third phase, which is gonna transition now, and it's basically the same stuff, but with Arcane. So you just gotta reset the Arcane stacks. However, now that he's transitioned, he still has his buff from the Draw Flame, so he hits quite a bit. So I advise you just to like keep yourself topped while hitting him, because it really hurts, especially if you have less gear. Um, I'd suggest you go with 655, maybe even 650 if you feel like it. I mean, it all comes down to whether or not you can keep yourself up while doing damage. And you really need to learn how to avoid those stacks, or like how to reset them, because if you don't, you won't make it. Especially if you have less gear, it's gonna take more time for you doing this each phase. So yeah, you really need to learn to do it. Otherwise than that, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But yeah, there's that one mechanic you need to figure out. Yeah, that's pretty much that fight. Gara'jal the Spirit Binder. Same glyphs, single target fight. Sanctified Wrath actually is different because this is a DPS fight. I need all the damage. actually had to eat for it. It is really hard. Um, as for I still have Forgotten Kings and Drums of Fury, but the stat and the heroism buff, I don't feel like using it and buying that all each week, so I prefer to learn how to do it without. I done it actually all the times without, but I just keep it there in case I need to do it quick. Um, the fight is pretty hectic, not in visual way, just because you need to make the right decisions. Whether you keep yourself topped, well, not topped, but alive, and or pump out the damage. Now, this is one of the hardest stuff to do because if you don't kill him fast enough, he's gonna spawn lots of ads, and they're gonna wreck your health. But if you don't heal enough, you die. So you gotta keep a certain balance between your damage and healing, and you have to keep in mind that this boss got enraged at 20% and has like a minion rage. He hurts even harder then. How this boss fight actually would work if you had more players. The other players would go on the totem and kill the spirits of the other world that shoot those random like shadow bolts. I can't do that because I'm soloing and it doesn't work. However, if it would work, it would probably reset the boss fight since I would be on the other realm and the boss couldn't hit me. Um, so you just gotta take it like a man. I mean, this is without a doubt the hardest boss fight in here. And I suggest you have like 670ish gear. I have 671 currently while filming this. I had last week I think at 669, 668 when I killed him first time. But as you can see, I'm cutting it close even with my gear. So I really suggest you have the same gear if you want to try it out. Because I mean you can go lower since I didn't use Drums of Forgotten Kings or the haste buff. But as I said, I like to farm this each week, so I prefer not to buy those each time I get here. So I I just yeah just get the item level and be done with it. Um, it is really hard. I use lane hands. As you can see, I even use bubble, and I mean I don't even know how I managed to do that because I was really low health there, but I pulled it off. So it's you just gotta get a feel of it, how when to use what, how to manage certain like should I heal now, should I damage now, like you need to expect what your damage intake's gonna be. But it's just nuke and keep yourself topped. As Spirit Kings. Same glyphs. As for talents, only yeah, pretty much the same. I could have gone Divine Purpose for more healing, but I knew the fight from last week and I knew I wasn't gonna take that much damage. The first like boss or part of the boss, Kiang the Merciless, he does AoE cleaves, which can't negate, but that however you can, and you have to move away from it. It hurts, but he doesn't hit as often. Even he takes like big chunks of your health, but you can heal it quick back up before he does another swing. And those swings are actually you can parry them, so he doesn't necessarily do it each time. Um, then there's this guy, Subitaya Swift. This is the guy you want to pop cooldowns on, because he has an ability called Pinning Arrow, and you really need to watch out for that. He also does that volley thing, which he just did. Just move away. Those moving guys are actually from Kiang the Merciless, and yeah, you just gotta move away as well. That was a pinning arrow actually, which just shot from the sky, those arrow stuff. As far as I know, you can't get away as a red paladin from that, except with a PvP trinket or a bubble. I used my racial, the human one, which is equivalent to PvP trinket. I haven't tested it out though, but if Light's Hammer work to get rid of the pinning arrow, use it. But you have to time it quite well, so you pop the Light's Hammer before you get pinned. Because you need to kind of kill the arrow so you get rid of it. But you can't do that because you're stunned. Um, but if it doesn't work, have a PvP trinket just in case, unless you're human, of course. Then it's this guy. He is quite easy actually as well. He just throws those shadow bolts, blasts, whatever, and then he summons an ad, and you can just kill the ad, and the ad becomes a pool which you move away from. And yeah, that's the ad. Unliving shadow, no, undying shadow. My bad. Um, yeah, that's a pool. Pretty easy. You don't stand in it, and just keep interrupting as much as can. It's shadow damage, so you can negate with divine protection. Quite a bit. I mean, he doesn't do massive amount of damage, so you shouldn't worry. Um, the next guy is, I think, is even easier. I mean, of course, it all depends what order you get these, because I think they have a weekly order. Like each week their order comes in different. So you might not see the order I got here, but I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as you just like pop your cooldowns on Subetai the Swift, you're all good. And just as long as you can get rid of the pinning arrow, you're fine. The Maddening Shout, which you can see there, he casted, is, well, I don't know. If you're less geared, you might have an issue if you get this guy as a first guy, because it is remaining during the whole fight. But if you have even a little bit gear, you can easily out heal it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the last guy here is pretty much a pushover. He doesn't do anything. He just runs away and scared and stuff. But Spirit Kings is really easy. I'd suggest 650, maybe 640. I don't know. I mean, you still need to be able to kill Super Titan Swift before he does second slash third pinning arrow. Well, third, unless you're going for PvP trinket. And Elegon. Same stuff, single target. I actually went for Final Verdict and Speed of Light. Final Verdict is really nice in this fight. You'll see why soon. Speed of Light is just in case I screw up, which I actually managed to do. But yeah. So the fight is pretty simple. You have this big astral serpent, and you want to defeat him and get him as a mount, hopefully. Um, he spawns ads called protectors, and you pretty much kill him. Preferably as soon as possible, but I mean, because the more you're in the middle, you get a stacking buff or debuff that increases your damage taken. And those, I mean, you want to get rid of the ad as soon as possible. This is your draw power phase. He's gonna summon those ads, and I just one-shot them. The reason how you do it is actually pretty nice. The final verdict increases your radius and damage for your next Divine Storm by 100%. That is really nice for this fight, because as long as you keep that buff up and go here, and boom, everything dies. I actually screwed it up a couple times, because this was actually the first time I tested it out, and as you can see, I recommend it. As for the fight, as you can see, I'm not taking much damage now. Most of the damage is from when these guys die, and it's not really massive. So, as long as you like half health or something, you shouldn't really worry about it. But, I mean, otherwise you have time to cast here before the new ads come. What else? Well, you don't want to stay here for too long either. As you can see, I have like 26 stacks now of the debuff. You can go all out and try to kill the boss if you really want to do it, but I think the haste is gonna come against you at some point. I actually screwed up here. I don't manage to get those, so I was like, okay, gonna do second phase. Which is actually not that bad, considering I had 32, actually 33 stacks now. Basically this is like the second phase, and he summons pillars. You basically kill them. you can move through the walls. See, it only takes like 23k of health, 24k maybe. You can pop, of course, divine protection, magic damage, everything. But the thing is, you just need to kill these pillars and you're back to phase 1. But as you can see, this is the only way you can get your stacks out, or debuff stacks out. He also summons the ads. They count as honorable slash kills that yield XP. So you get the supplication buff, which guarantees a critical strike on your flash of light. So in case you're low, just kill an ad, heal, kill an ad, heal, and you're good. As you can see, he's gonna yank you straight back because he doesn't want you to leave his circle of awesomeness. But this is pretty much the same as phase 1. See the protector there again. For some reason I just ignore him and just decide to nuke because I have my wings up. I'd suggest you kill him as soon as possible, but for some reason I just make crazy or very bad decisions. Anyway, this is easy fight. This is like the second most easy fight because the DPS requirement ain't that high. Because even with low gear, you can one-shot them with that combo. There is like third phase, but I recommend you stay out of it, especially if you have low gear, because it's you can of course do it, but it's literally a DPS race at that point. Because you can't reset your stacks, he's gonna just yank you back in, and he does constant AoE damage. So you just prefer to keep him in this phase as long as possible. Plus, of course, he gets lots of stacks, so he dies even faster. It's pretty easy fight, as long as you just can Divine Storm every ad surrounding him. Too bad, no mount. Gotta try next week, but yeah, that's how you solo up to Elegon. So.